You know, this year I cried a lot about not feeling soft enough. I cried a lot about not being able to like magically pull this soft, feminine energy out of me in the middle of really challenging situations. And I know that there's so much conversation, right, about culturally about being able to be in your feminine and to be able to be soft and to be able to be his piece and, you know, to be able to access all of these things that are honestly not being earned in most of the spaces that we're inhabiting. And we don't even have to get into the X's and O's of, you know, whose relationship is better and, you know, who's got whatever resources and finances and this and that. All of those things do matter. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we're only having this conversation because we understand that softness is a currency that allows for the men in our lives to act like they have some sense. And so softness is not necessarily always something that is generated from some sense of nervous system regulation. Oftentimes it's strategy to be able to understand how to get what you want out of this person in front of you, who obviously can't respond to actual real human emotions and nuance and variance, because the only version of you that they can actually accept is the one that is performing like they wish that their mother would, or did, or still do. And our job is not to be their mother. Our job is not to perform some level of nurturing and softness and acceptance and unconditional, you know, gathering that they never feel like they actually have any accountability or responsibility to understand you and your emotions and what things actually make you feel safe and loved and, you know, tended to in a way that would actually make you want to be softer, right? Why would I be soft in a space where I feel like I'm in danger emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially? So we're generating softness in places where we actually aren't protected, and therefore that's the reason why the conversation even keeps happening. We're trying to strategize around something with our bodies, with our sensuality, with our feminine energy, and with what should feel like divine currency. We're turning it into something that we're using just to survive. Let's just call a spade a spade. So before you start questioning whether or not you're soft enough or whether or not you're feminine enough, ask yourself, what is it that you actually need from this person that you need to have to soften in a way that your body and your nervous system naturally isn't ready for? Because if you're there, you're going to be there. If you're in that space, you're in that space. You're not going to have to force it. So what is it that what do you feel like you're going to lose? What do you feel like you're not going to be able to have? What is it that you feel like is being withheld from you if you don't conform to some other version of your femininity that perhaps the space is not even prepared to support you in being? I don't know. Not what I thought I was going to talk about today, but that is what landed on my heart. So let's go with that. I'd love to hear your thoughts.